Hey y'all, this video is on slope. We're going to look at slope from 3 points of view, from graphs, points, and from tables. To find a slope from a graph, you want to look at the ratio of the vertical change, called delta y, to the horizontal change, delta x. This is also known as rise over run. So, starting at the point on the left, which is 1, 6, I look at my vertical change. So I'm dropping vertically until I get to the level with the other point. I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a vertical change of -4. And then I go over 1, 2 in the positive direction. So that's a horizontal change of +2. -4 divided by 2 is -2, and this is the slope of this particular line. Doing that same process again, remember vertical change over horizontal change. Starting at point number 1, I need to get up to the level of point number 2 vertically, so I go up 1, 2, and then I go over horizontally 1, 2, 3, and 4. So my slope is vertical change over horizontal change, 2 over 4, which is 1/2. The slope of that line is 1/2. If we find the slope of this horizontal line, notice that to get from point 1 on the left to point 2 on the right, I don't have to change vertically at all because they're on the same level. So I would say that my vertical change is 0. Now my horizontal change is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0 divided by 5 is 0. And that's the slope of a horizontal line. This line is vertical, so this time my line has vertical change, but it doesn't have any horizontal change. To move from the point at the bottom to the point at the top, I go up vertically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but I don't go horizontally at all. This is 10 divided by 0. Now, if you recall, 0 under the line is undefined. 10 divided by 0 is undefined. And that's the slope of a vertical line, undefined. So it doesn't have a slope. All right, now we're going to practice finding slope when we're given an ordered pair. We want to find the slope of the line through the points -2, 3, and 1, 5. We have a formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, y2 minus y1 is just the math way of writing delta y, and the denominator likewise is the math way to write delta x. Now, it may help you to first label your points x1, y1, and x2, y2. Remember, an ordered pair is always xy, xy. We're going to start with the y2, which is 5, minus y1, which is 3. We're going to divide that by x2, which is 1, minus x1, notice, is -2. So the formula has minus signs, and then the 2 happen to bring in its own negative. So my numerator is 5 minus 3, which is 2. My denominator is 1 minus -2, which is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So the slope of this particular line is 2/3. Because this is such an important skill, we're going to practice this 3 times to make sure you catch on to the pattern. Now I'm going to start by labeling my points x1, y1 and x2, y2. And now y2 is 3, y1 is -2, divided by x2 is 0 and x1 is 2. 3 minus negative 2 is 5. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So we would say the slope of this line is negative 5/2. In the next problem, I'm not going to label x1, y1, x2, y2 this time. I'm just going to draw little arrows. So I'm going to start by taking 5 minus 3, and I'm going to divide by x minus x, which is 5 minus 5. 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 minus 5 is 0. Division by 0 is undefined. So undefined, this must have been a vertical line. In the last problem, I'm going to start with my second y value, and I'm going to subtract my first y value, so 3 minus 3, divided by my second x value is 5 minus 1. So I have 3 minus 3, which is 0, divided by 5 minus 1 is 4. 0 divided by any non-zero number is 0. So this must have been a horizontal line. Now we're going to find slope given a table of values. Now this is really the same as the y2 minus y1 thing. It's just the structure is different and you actually have more points to choose from. We're going to start by picking 2 points. In the first problem, I'm going to pick the first 2 points. I'm going to take the 0 and I'm going to subtract the 5. So remember, you're doing delta y in the numerator. In the denominator, I'm going to do 2 minus 1. Notice that I started numerator and denominator with the second point. 0 minus 5 is negative 5. 2 minus 1 is positive 1. Negative 5 divided by 1 is negative 5, and that's the slope of the line represented by the first table. In the second example, I'm going to pick, I'm going to pick the second point and the fourth point. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take 8 and subtract 4. That's my numerator. 8 minus 4. And divide by 11 minus 3. Notice how I put the 8 first on top, so I have to put the 11 first on the bottom. 8 minus 4 is 4. 11 minus 3 is 8. And 4/8 reduces to 1/2. And that's the slope of the line represented by the second table. In my third example, I'm going to pick, let's pick the middle 2 points. It doesn't matter, just pick 2 and be consistent. And I'm going to do something even crazier. I'm going to subtract 3 minus 5 in the numerator. So it turns out that it doesn't matter which point you label x1, y1 and which one you label x2, y2. You just have to be consistent. Now, since I did 3 minus 9 on top, I have to do 7 minus 11 on the bottom. Just be consistent. 3 minus 9 is negative 6, and 7 minus 11 is negative 4. Negative 6 over negative 4 is the same as positive 3/2. And that's the slope of the line represented by the third table. In summary, slope can be thought of in 3 different ways. Delta y over delta x. Delta means change or difference. So change in y over change in x. Or you can actually use an explicit formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or the friendly way to think of it that you may be familiar with is rise over run. There are 4 possible answers for a slope. You can get a positive number, as in the first example. Notice that this is an increasing function. You can get a negative answer, as in the second one. Notice that this is a decreasing function. In the third picture, we have a horizontal line. For a horizontal line, this slope is 0. So I taught you this mnemonic, h for horizontal, 0 for slope, and y equals for the equation. So horizontal lines have 0 slope. And in the last picture, we have a vertical line. I taught you the mnemonic VUX, V for vertical, U is for undefined, and then x equals is the equation. All right, that's all there is to slope. Thank you for watching.